Here's how to de-escalate a conflict between your kids when there's a difference in perspective in terms of what happened. So this is like Mom, she hit me. It's my turn at the piano. Go away. Instead of getting into this and trying to figure out who did what and who hit who and what is fair, here's how to facilitate de-escalation that lets the children solve their own problems with perspective taking. Approach, get in between the kids so now they're not going to hurt each other again because you're physically in between them. And then you're going to facilitate perspective taking with you were thinking and you were thinking. You were thinking you were doing the piano right now. It was your turn. And you were thinking that sounded really cool. You wanted to play. You were thinking you wanted the time to yourself. And you were thinking, hey, that's my piano. Remember that you do not actually have to fix this. It is not actually your job to figure out who's in the wrong here or how they're going to do the piano or any of that stuff. Your job in this moment, if you're going for perspective taking, is to facilitate them coming to their own solution. So they're going to have the power and then they're going to learn some of the skills and you can bring all the empathy in the world to that. But I'm not going to solve it. Now, of course, if one child is like really, really hurt, like tend to the child that's really, really hurt. But in a lot of these kinds of moments, no one's actually really, really hurt. And what we need is for everyone to feel heard and to feel like, yes, this is happening. And then they can have the space to resolve the conflict. So you were thinking, label it a couple of times until both children feel felt. And then I might say, wow, this is hard. I don't know. What should we do? I'm offering wait time. They're going to resolve this. Now, if you have kids who then are talking over each other or like unwilling to be in this conversation, use a talking thing, right? It's like, okay, you can have the first idea here with the cat. And when she's done, then you can have the cat. If your children are so activated that they can't do that, right? This is too hard. Then I might say, you know what? Looks like the piano's too hard right now. Let's go outside. I'm going to move into like parallel play, like maybe riding bikes that is physically oriented so they're getting some of that sensory input. And then I might come back to it, right? So I might say after we've ridden bikes, hey, you know what? We still got to do piano. Earlier, piano was kind of tricky. You were thinking you wanted to play and you were thinking you wanted to sit right next to her because you love the sound. I wonder how we could do it now. And then I'm going back to putting the power and decision-making into their hands, right? And if they offer nothing, I might say, okay, let's try this. You're going to play the piano. And you and me, why don't we play checkers? And you'll still be able to hear her. We can do that for like 4 minutes and then we can switch. Oh, you don't want to play checkers. Got it. Huh. Maybe a book. You're just noticing and labeling what is going on. Slow it down. Make space for your children to do the cognitive work of this. Let them do the work. They're going to do the work when you're supporting them. Make sure you're touching them, you're holding them, you're giving them the sensory input. If they're having a really hard time and you know that sitting on a bouncy ball chair thing is helpful for them, get the bouncy chair. They can sit on that while you have this conversation. If you know that like having their back rubbed, their hair played with while they're trying to figure this out is something that's supportive, do that. If you know that holding the kitten helps them kind of regulate and stay grounded, let them do that. It's great to practice this kind of stuff in just like very everyday moments because this is just about a piano, but you're going to also have bigger moments where this happens and where our children need help doing the perspective taking work. So this weekend, I want you to focus. You were thinking and you were thinking and you were thinking and you were thinking. And then when you get that out, that is hard. You were not thinking the same thing. You were thinking something different. I see where this is tricky. And probably fewer words than that, okay? That's important. Fewer words is important, but that's kind of the feeling that you're going for when you're doing that labeling and perspective taking work. And remember, you don't have to fix it. That's not your job. Their job is come to the resolution. Your job is to label what is happening and support them to do some of the cognitive work and put your body in a space so that they're not going to hurt each other. If you need help getting your kiddos to cooperate around this kind of stuff, please go to the link in my bio, book a consult. We will get on a call, we'll talk about my program. And if it's a fit, if it is a fit, we'll get you enrolled and I will get you the tools to help your children move through these kinds of spaces.